Good morning, my dear students. In the previous video, we have learnt about the story of the chapter Grandfather Fights an Ostrich, that is written by Ruskin Bond, where the grandfather of Ruskin Bond told him about a story when he had an encounter with an ostrich. So, in this video, in this part of the story, we will learn about the various exercises that are related to this chapter. So, let's have a look at that. So, first of all, in the A part, you can see there are some sentences given to us. We have to number the sentences in the order they occur in the story. Means we have to find out which event happened in the story in the first position and then which happened at the second position, and we have to mark the numbers. We have to mark the sentences. We have to write the sentences in the correct order. Secondly, there are the question answers that are related to the story. There are some questions that are asked from us that are related to the story. We have to read the question and to understand and then to write the answer according to the story that we have heard or that we have read. The think and answer portion is, in the think and answer portion, there are some questions given to us that are based upon our understanding. So what we have understood by learning the story, by reading the story, we have to tell the answers to that questions according to that. Like, do you think grandfather was wise to cross the farm? Give a reason for your answer. If you think grandfather was wise enough to cross the farm, so you have to say a yes and then you have to give a reason why. What else could grandfather have done to save his life apart from taking the dog with him? What other thing can the grandfather, or what other thing could the grandfather have done to save his life? What do you think is the funniest scene? Which is the funniest scene of the story? You have to tell about that. Now, in the learn the language part, we learn about the words expressing feelings. Grandfather was frightened when the bird attacked him. If you were in his place, how would you feel? Now, there are some words that express our feelings, like sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are angry, other times we are sad, we are excited, we are startled, we are confused, we are surprised. All these words, they represent our feelings. How do we feel at certain times? How do we feel at particular times? So now in these eight sentences that are given to us, what we have to do is we have to use the correct word from the given words, from the above words that are given to us. We have to choose an appropriate word to complete the sentence. These words relates to the feelings. These words given above are related to our feelings, so we have to choose the correct word and we have to fill in the given blanks. Next is, in the learn the language part, we are going to learn about the adverbs of time, place and manner. What is the first of all, we learn about what is the adverb of time, place and manner. Firstly, we will learn about the adverbs. As we all know that adverbs are the verbs that modify the verbs and tell us more about them. Means they change, they modify, give us more information about the words. They tell us more about the nouns, or that tell us more about the verbs. Adverbs are the words that tell us more about the actions or the verbs, so that are called as the adverbs. For example, quickly, slowly, bravely. Like for example, run is a verb. Run is the work that we do. So if I say run quickly, so quickly is added with run and it is modifying run and it is telling more about run. Like, how do you run? I run quickly. So read the sentences. The ostrich swung grandpa round and round violently. The dog chased the hare excitedly. Now, violently and excitedly are the words that tells us how ostrich and dog ran, how they were running. The words violently and excitedly are telling us about that. An adverb that tells us how an action is performed or how an action is done is called as adverb of manner. We are going to learn about the three type of adverbs: adverbs of time, place, and adverbs of manner. So, adverb of manner is how an action is done. How do we perform an action? Like, we perform an action happily, sadly, angrily, wholeheartedly, etc. So this is how we perform an action. So now we can look at some of the sentences. Like, grandpa fell down from the ostrich back. He looked everywhere for his dog. Down and everywhere. Down and everywhere, they tell us about the place. So these words are telling us about the place of the action, where the action happened. So the words that tell us about where the action happened, they are called as the adverbs of place. For example, upstairs, downstairs, backwards, forward, here, there. These all are the adverbs of place. Now last is the adverb of time. Adverb of time tell us about the time when the action took place. When means time, so it tells us about the time when the action took place. For example, Ostrich attacked the grandfather yesterday. Later, grandpa decided to go walking. Yesterday and later, these are the adverbs of time. They answer the question when. When did the ostrich attack grandpa? The ostrich attacked the grandpa yesterday. Today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next day, next year, last week, now, etc. All these are the adverbs of time. So in the A part, there are some sentences given to us, and what we have to do is we have to identify the verbs in the sentences. And in the next page you can see, here in the next page there are some boxes given to us where the titles are manner, place and time. So we have to read these sentences that are given to us, then we have to identify the verb from these sentences, and then we have to write down these verbs in the appropriate box. Like first one is given for us, like first one is let us begin the work now. As we can see here, first question is let us begin the work now. Now means the time. Now means adverb of time. So in this now time box, now is written in the time box. Similarly, we have to read all the sentences, and then we have to find out the adverbs from these sentences, and we have to write down the adverbs in the proper box, like which adverb is belonging to manner or place or time. Now in the B part, make the sentences with these adverbs. Also state whether they are adverbs of manner, place or time. Four words are given to us. We have to make sentences with the help of these adverbs, and then we have to also tell that whether they belong to the adverb of manner or adverb of place or adverb of time. So this was all about the adverbs and the various type of adverbs. Now we will learn about the helping verbs. Students, we have already learned about the helping verbs, like whenever we in the present, whenever we use the sentence in the present continuous form, particularly when we describe that we are doing some action. So to describe the action in the present continuous, particularly we use some words that are called as the helping verbs, like is, mr. As we can pay attention to the highlighted words that are given in the sentences. Meghna is writing a letter. I am listening to music. He was having his dinner. They are flying to New York. Is, am, are, was, were, all these are the helping verbs that are used with the main verbs. Main verbs are the works that we are doing: writing, listening, having, flying, reading, etc. So all these are the main verbs, and along with the main verb, the words that are used, that are highlighted, are known as the helping verbs. So when the helping verbs are used without the main verb, then they become the main verb. We have already learnt about this, like when there is no main verb given to us in the sentence, then the helping verb that is used there is it becomes the main verb of that sentence. For example, she is 16. She is 16, no main verb is given, so is the main verb here. Vinod has a fever. Has is the helping verb, although has is the helping verb, but no helping verb, no main verb is given to us here, so it becomes the main verb over here. So nextly, helping verbs, all the helping verbs are is, mr, was, were, has, have, had. These are called as the helping verbs. When they are called the helping verbs, when they are used with the main verb, and if there is no main verb in the sentence, then they become the main verb of the sentence, and they will not be called as the helping verb of that sentence. Now in the C part, we have to underline the helping verb and circle the main verb. Because some sentences are given to us, we have to underline which is the helping verb, and we have to circle which is the main verb of the sentence. Lastly, we are going to learn about the apostrophe. So what is an apostrophe? As we can see, whenever we write some things, like we write some of the things, and after writing a particular word, we put a comma on the above portion of that word, and then we write s. This pen is my friend comma s. We write it as like that, na. So that comma is known as apostrophe. It is a punctuation mark. Basically, it is used to show possession or ownership. Like when we want to tell that some particular thing belongs to some particular person, so that means possession or ownership, and for representing that possession and ownership, we use apostrophe. Like grandfather's dog ran after the hare. Now the dog belonged to grandfather, so it was grandfather's dog. Grandfather apostrophe s. Here we can see comma is placed between grandfather and s, and that comma is called as apostrophe. When there are two or more persons who are having something, who own something, then apostrophe is placed after the plural noun. Like, this is my parents house, the house belongs to both of the parents, like my father and my mother. So parents, then comma, we will not write parent comma s, we will write parents then apostrophe, because parent comma s means it belongs to one parent, and when we write parents apostrophe, then it means it belongs to both the parents. Now we'll read some sentences and we'll notice the difference between the highlighted words. We are going to Africa to see the ostrich farm. Now two words are given, we and are. If we want to combine these two words, how can we write it as? We can write it as we apostrophe re. We have cut down a and we have written it as we apostrophe re. So it will become we are going. It is similar. It is only we are, but we have written in the short form only. I will be staying at my uncle's house. I apostrophe double L. WI is cut down and we have just written I apostrophe double L. So these words, so the sometime we write the words by shortening them. We write some of the words by shortening them and combining the two words. That is called as contraction. We are learning about the contraction. Contraction means when we cut short the word and we combine two words. Like in the previous example, we have learned about we and will. If we were writing we and will, if we want to combine these two words, what we do is we apostrophe double L, it will become will. So that is known as contraction. Whenever we want to do any contraction, we just what we do is we just omit the letters and we replace the letters by using an apostrophe. Like it is examples are given like are, not. Are and not are two words. When we want to combine these two words, what we do is AREN apostrophe T, it will become aren't. You have or you are, you apostrophe re. Do not will become don't after contraction. They have become they've, and it has become its by using apostrophe. So now in the A part, we have to use apostrophe s to show the possession or ownership, as we have learned about apostrophe in the previous page. So we have to use apostrophe s, like this book belongs to Mehul. It is Mehul's. Mehul's book is possession, right? So Mehul apostrophe s, it is Mehul's. In this way you have to attempt all the questions of A part. Then in the B part, underline the short form in these sentences, write the complete forms in the space provided. Beta, in the given sentences there are some words that are used in form of contractions, so we have to underline the contracted words and then we have to write down the full words. We have to write down the full words that helped us in making the contractions in the blanks. Like we apostrophe re going to the fair tomorrow. So we apostrophe re is a contracted word, it is a contraction form, so we will underline that. And what is the full form of that? We and are. So we will write we are. So in this way we have to do all these sentences. So this was all about the exercises that are related to chapter. I hope you have enjoyed the story of the chapter and you have learned about the exercises properly. Thank you and have a nice day, students.